good morning. Shout out to Grace for putting together that little theme song ditty. She's my live band here. Well, not live, but she's my band for the live stream. So today, I gotta fix my camera here a little bit. It's cutting me off. Um, doing this live when you're only when you're the single person, it's kind of a pain because I can't rely on somebody else to check to make sure the stream is working correctly, and so then I had to pull it up on my phone to make sure I'm actually you can't see that, but it's working. Doing this live when there's no one in the comments, so we're going to start it anyway. Good morning. It's sunny Ohio. Well, I think it's sunny. I'm in the basement, so for me to check that, I need to go out and look at a webcam to see what the weather's like outside. You know, a true geek. Hey, woo, look at that. It's nice and it's partly cloudy and sunny, at least over Columbus. So I'm assuming that's the way it is around here. I've been in my basement office for, gosh darn it. Anyway. So I've been in my basement office quite a bit the last few weeks. My chair, it's getting to know me better than my family. It's gotten to the point where I've named my chair Penelope. We've already celebrated our first month anniversary. Tara's been a little curious, but then I walk by her office and she's talking to somebody named Eduardo. Although my ho-ho supplies are critical, I want to thank Katie Ketchum for restocking the Oreo supply. And they're family size, which means when I'm done with quarantine, I'm going to be family sized. I just hope Penelope doesn't mind. So, let's start with, gotta bring up my notes. If you have a question, you can go to the site that's in the slides there, slides.app.goo.gl if you want. Or you can also put it in the comments, but if you put it in the ask a question, I can throw your question up for everybody to read. So if you do put it in ask a question, be prepared that everybody might be able to see it. So I'm going to cover a few things today to help you do a little bit. First up is taking screenshots. Everybody's gotten a lot better at taking screenshots. And especially with sending me screenshots to help troubleshoot, I would add one piece of advice when you're sending me a screenshot to troubleshoot, to take a picture of the entire screen. A lot of you will just take a picture of a little bit of the screen that you think is the problem. But if we have the whole screen, there might be other information on the screen like the URL or whether you're signed in or not that'll help us troubleshoot. So if you can help us by taking a picture of the entire screen, that will work a lot better. One piece that you might want to help your students learn is how to take screenshots on their Chromebooks, or if they do have a Mac or Windows at home. If they take a screenshot, you can use this, for example, when you ask them to complete a task online that it's not necessarily something they'll turn in, but they might have to sign up for a service or they might complete a game online. They can take a screenshot of the end result and then submit that as a Google Classroom assignment. For example, let's say the assignment was to watch this video on taking a screenshot with the Chromebook. Well, at the very end, okay, pause that. I could take a screenshot here, and I have a different screenshot tool on mine, on my computer, so bear with me for that. Follow those directions depending on what machine you have. So I can save my screenshot, and I just took a screenshot of the entire page. I can then go to Classroom, and I'm as my Mickey Mouse learner, so he doesn't have a whole lot to do. Let me pick an assignment here. On the assignment, you don't have to assign all the work. They can add or create their own work. So here's where they can create their own drawings or all sorts of other things. But I can say, add a file, and upload that screenshot I just took. And then I can mark that work as done. So you can sort of see the thumbnail. Here, let me click on it so you can see that. There's a screenshot I took to show that, yes, I did watch that whole video, even though you can still lie because I fast forwarded it. But it's a great way of collecting work from students or just wondering how they are. Have them take a screenshot of their work. And sometimes you can't download pictures as easy. Can't download something, so you can always take a screenshot. So as you work through that, taking a screenshot on that page is on the online learning page. I have on there how to take it on the Mac and Windows. Students can also use Screencastify, so they can record themselves going through a project and turn that in too. So there's several different ways to do the screenshot to help them show you what they've been doing. Next up, saving downloads. This is something that probably should have hit a while ago. Let me pull up the slide. There we go. Saving downloads. Naming and location. A lot of the times, by default, it just saves it. And then you have to go through, and it's probably in your downloads. I'm going to show you a few little tips on, and this will be in Chrome, on saving where the downloads go, and hopefully save you some headaches later on. If I'm in Chrome, I can go to the 3-dot menu and then go to settings. Now there's a ton of settings here, but there's also a search because this is Google. So if I just search for downloads, it pops up a whole section on downloads. First piece we're going to do is change the location. This will probably say Macintosh HD/user/your username/downloads if you're on a Mac. This is my username on this Windows machine as Gozer. We're going to change that. So I'm going to change where that goes. Why we're going to change it, you'll see when I select where I want to change it to. I'm going to change it to my Google Drive. So select your Google Drive, go to My Drive, and not to get off task, but when I every year I create a new folder for that school year. So here's 1920, and then inside that I save everything that I do for that year. It's just a technique I use to manage my files. If it works for you, fine. If you have another plan, fine. If I reuse something from 1819, I'll make a copy of it and put it in 1920. So I still have what I did the previous year, and along with the current year, because I will usually change it because I don't like doing the same thing twice. So in my 1920, I have a downloads folder. So I'm going to select my downloads folder. And now my downloads folder is in Google Drive 1920 downloads. Why do I want it in my Google Drive? Now I have access to my downloads no matter what machine I'm on, because I can go to Google Drive in the web browser, or if I have Google Drive file stream installed, I can just go to my Google Drive file stream. So on a desktop you might have at the elementary level, or middle school and high school might have a desktop, and you have your laptop, you can always get to your downloads no matter where you downloaded. If you use another machine when you're at home, a personal machine, if you save it into your downloads in your Google Drive, then it's there in both places. So that's the first place I would recommend, is changing that to your Google Drive. So then you'll have, so next year when I do my 2021 folder, I still have my downloads from the previous year organized by the previous year. Second piece is ask where to save each file before downloading. That will save you a ton of headaches, especially if you want to rename the file. And if I would get the search correct, I want to edit. I thought that was right. I needed a PDF that I want to download. So let's find a PDF to download. So here's my PDF, and if I hit the download button, it should ask me where I want to put it, and I can rename it. So it automatically went to my downloads folder, and I can get a name, like you're going to prison if you haven't already done 2017 taxes. Going to prison if you haven't done your 2017 taxes. So I can name the file. Because I turned on, let me go back to that settings. Because I turned this on, I can name the file every single time. So hopefully that will help you find your downloads and also name them, because sometimes you want to name your files before you actually do something with them. Next up, a little tool that some people have been using. Let me switch my slides. Online voice recorder. And that is the name of it, online-voice-recorder.com. That is what it says. It's a voice recorder for online. And I'm going to demonstrate it here, if it'll let me record, because I'm also streaming my microphone, so sometimes they fight for who gets the microphone. When a student travels to it, it will ask them for access to the microphone. See, the first time I do it, the site wants to use a microphone. This I talked about last week also. If you have a student that says, hey, you can't find my camera or my microphone, it's because this popped up and they clicked block. I'm going to click allow. So if it is blocked off, they can always click on the lock up here and it'll say block right here so they can allow it. But as soon as I hit that record and gave permission to the site, it starts recording. And I can pause, or I can continue on. I stop it and there's not much I can do. I can trim the back, the front and the back. I can listen to it. I can put that where I want. You can't trim out dead space in between. It's supposed to detect, only at the beginning and end. But you can't cut out, so it's very limited on what you can do. But after they hit record, they hit save. And look, I turned on ask me where to save so I can name this. My great recording. And then I can hit as soon as it finishes saving here. to do another one. Once this guy over here, you can select your microphone. Once you have recorded it once, once you have allowed access to the microphone once, it will remember it every single time you go to the site. Now, what are some use cases for the online screen recorder? One is if you just want students, another option for them to turn in work. They can record their audio with online voice recorder, go to the assignment, and add the MP3 that they just created. See, there's my great recording. And I can add that to my assignment. So students can use that for something different than just turning in a Google Doc. You can also use it. Oops, that's not the window I wanted. Here's my notes for this live stream for today. You can also use it to add narration to a slide. So if I wanted some students, if I wanted to put my voice on a slide for narration, I can insert audio. Now remember when I changed my downloads directory to be in Google Drive? As soon as it finishes chugging here, come on, come on. There's my great recording. It pulls up all of the sounds that all the MP3 files in my drive and puts the recent at the top. So you'll see that this great recording, that's one I just did in online screen recorder. So that's another advantage of setting your downloads folder to be in your Google Drive, because then you can do things like add this player to my slide presentation. And then you'll need to put it somewhere where it's not annoying. But now when a student goes to here, they can listen to that. So that's the other nice use case for online screen recorder, is to be able to record narrations that you can use in Google Slides. I've had some issues with people. Oh, let me switch to that slide. I've had some permission issues. People will do the online voice recorder, they'll stick it in a Google slide, but then the student can't listen to the sound because they don't have permission to the sound file. Even though if they have permission to the Google slide presentation, doesn't mean that they'll have permission to access any of the documents referenced in that Google slide presentation. So I'm going to show you how to check that and then how to fix the access issues. So if I go back to my great presentation I just put together with my sounds in this one, normally when I share this, I'm going to say share to anyone with the link. So now I've got this big old long link that I could put in a Google Classroom. I'm going to copy it. I have this big old long link to Google Classroom. But I want to make sure that the students have access to this recording that's in there. Well, how you can do that is opening a new somebody's supposed to tell me I forgot to switch back. So we're going to share this. Anyone with the link can view. And there's my nice, great, big, long URL. But we want to check to make sure that they have access to all of the media that might be in it. It might be a movie file. It might be an audio file. We want to check that. Well, how we can check that is click the three-dot menu and then go to New Incognito Window. Ooh, we're kind of spyish now. The incognito window, you're totally logged out of everything. You notice I don't have any of my extensions. It's just a totally clean window that doesn't have access to anything. If I paste my link in there to go look at it, it did not do what I wanted to do. Unless, okay, so it didn't, I did that wrong. I don't want to copy that link right here. I have this Sir Links a lot. Well, I don't want to get into that. So I'm going to go back to that new incognito window. I'm going to paste my link in there, but I'm going to change the end where it says edit to preview and spell preview correctly. When did they move the, gosh darn it. Huh. Okay, so this is totally not giving me what it did when I pulled up that screenshot. How did we do that? Well, let me do this one more time and then. Nope, that didn't do it. Okay, I can't remember how I did that other way. One more try. Don't you love it when the presenter messes up? Share didn't work. Preview didn't work. Huh. Maybe it's because I didn't, when I did that screenshot, I didn't own, no, that shouldn't matter. Okay, I'm going to have to look in that more. But you can always open up the, let me get back to the, if you share it with the link, copy that link, and then go to incognito window, you can always go through your presentation with the, and see, so I would know, oh, I need to give access to this audio file. There's a couple different ways of doing that. We're just going to use the first way. So that I know where that audio file is because I saved it. There it is, my great recording. So on there, I can go to share and change this from private to anyone with the link. So any movies, audio files, just make sure you change the permission to at least anyone at Kent City Schools with the link. That's the tightest access you can give without sharing a specific. So the order of these is most public to most private. So as you go up, it gives access to more and more people because the first one, it's only specific people. The second one is specific people. I mean, anyone at Kenton City Schools, but they have to have the link. The third one is anyone at Kenton City Schools can find it. They can do a search and find it somehow. I've never done that, but somehow. The next one up, anyone with the link. That's one I almost always share it as, anyone with the link. If you're sharing anything that might have private information on it, only share with specific people. But my audio file and my movies, no, that can be anyone with the link. So you'll have to go through and check that, make sure they have access to the files, and you can do that through an incognito window. Nope. And Mickey Mouse does not have access to incognito. Students do not have access to incognito window. Mickey Mouse is a student, and you'll notice he doesn't have access to that. I am not a student, so I do have access. So open up your presentation in an incognito window if you have any additional media, sounds, or movies, so you can go through and check to make sure that they have access. And I didn't save that because I didn't give it access. Finally, last week we talked about doing links to your classwork, doing links to various items in classroom. Let me switch to my teacher here, Donald Duck. So your classwork page, that's a distinct URL. And remember, I did all of these, so I can go to the classwork for my Super Secret Learning Tech Extreme. I did that all last week. You can rewatch that movie if you want last week. Each assignment also has a link. So this assignment here, if I have a student that hasn't completed it yet and I want to ask them about it, I can say copy link and then write up a new email. I noticed you haven't completed the following assignment. And all I did was paste that link in there. Could you let me know if you have any? Thought I'd turn that on. If you have any questions. So here, I'm putting a link. Oh, fudge. Thank you, Karen. Because I forget to switch my. Okay, we're going to go back to that. So, if you notice, last week we talked how you can go to the classwork for each one of your classes. Well, each assignment also has a link. So if I have a student that hasn't completed this assignment, I can click on the three dots and there's a copy link. I'm going to hit that copy link. And then I'm going to write an email to that assignment. Are you having problems? Are you having problems with this assignment? Let me know if you have any questions. So I copied that link and I'm pasting it directly in an email so I can send it to Mickey Mouse. When Mickey Mouse gets the email, come on. There it is. So Mickey Mouse gets his email. And look, it's a link. And when I click on it, it's going to go directly to that assignment that I had selected. So remember that in Google Classroom, each assignment, and that link stays the same no matter where I drag that assignment to, or if I rearrange my assignments, that link stays the same. So it's a good way to link directly to an assignment to help a student, especially with students trying to keep track of everything that they need to do with all the homework. You could start off with, you can do a little email message to them saying, hey, this will be what you're doing this week, these following assignments, and you could paste the links into there for each one if you want, or just at the Thursday, if some students are behind, you can say, hey, how are you doing with this assignment? Can I help you with any of that? And it's just a good way of helping them um, get their work done and help you keep on track of things. So that is my last little demonstration for today. Somebody asked about the tech site. The tech site is tech.kentuckyschools.org. And the online resources link is right at the top. This right here is a link to the latest news articles, and I don't think I tagged these correctly, these two. So I can put those in there. And I'm trying to post one or two things a week. Here's all the news. So here's a conference that was supposed to take place last month and didn't, but they're doing it online. Here's what I was talking about, taking screenshots and some Google Meet. So I try to post a few things in there. This is all the new messages that show up on the tech website. That's what you get, that technology newsletter once a week. So I don't want to fill up your mailbox with just a ton of email. So that way you can get one a week with everything new, or you can go here and visit it. You can also follow the KCS KCS Tech Twitter account, which I'll post. But here's what the news. Oh, it's blocked. Well, Donald, you shouldn't have tried to go there. I don't know why that. I'll have to. Oh, because it's a market now. I don't know why that link was blocked. That was GoGuardian blocking it. And the newsletter is posted there once a week. So, see, does this look familiar to anybody? So this last week I had 3 new messages in there. Okay, so if no one else has any other questions, I'm going to get ready to end this because I don't know what else to add. For next week, I'm going to start doing this every Tuesday at 10. Mondays were becoming an issue because things break over the weekend, and then I'm rushing around trying to get the live stream ready and fixing things. So I moved it to Tuesdays at 10. I'll do another one next week, Tuesday at 10. If you have any little issue that maybe we can come up with something to help you complete it or to make your life easier, please let me know. Shoot me an email, and I'll add it for my slides for next week. Until then, have a good day.